Welcome, welcome, welcome! Welcome to the most innovative and electrifying spiritual service in the world, right? Woohoo! Yes! We are in the month of May still, and we are having our artist spotlight. So this week, we have two wonderful artists that are going to be giving you their talent and gift, sharing with you. That will be the sweet soprano voice of Rebecca Hoppe. And we're going to blast it off with that smooth tenor, Daniel Riley. Come on.
All right, here we go, y'all.
Eyes wide upset on you. You made a way in the wild, standing on ancient truth. I'm pressing on with my back to the past, and oh, let the young see visions of the future, and I sing, oh. Come on. In my world, God do a new thing. I know you're moving. In my world, a chain reaction of holy passion. Whoa. Come on. Woo. Yeah. Hey. Synced and stride with you, bursting like heaven in motion. God, your love made me new. I'm pressing on with my back to the past, and oh, let the young see visions of the future, and I sing, oh, let the old dream dreams again. Come on. In my
Yes, let's give it up for Daniel Riley. Wow, wonderful. And what a brilliant idea. Was it Wanda? Okay, Wanda Nero Butler, who's with her family today in Atlanta. Let's give her some love, right? Right, and I was laughing earlier. You know, we have a good time. You know, spirituality is supposed to be fun. So all this seriousness, how's that working for you? Just saying. Anyway, we were laughing this morning about how Wanda picked the colors today. I feel like a bumblebee, okay? And she's not here, so we need to make a note of that in the future. Anyway, a little side note there. How are you, everyone? It's so good to see you. Yeah, so good to see you. Yes, our heart welcomes you from wherever you are, but definitely we love having some interaction. Make some noise so everybody online can hear you. Yeah, we got the fullness of spirit in the house today. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm Temple Hayes, and I still feel like Temple Hayes today, and it's so good to see you. You look beautiful. Give yourself a great big hug. I'm so glad you're here. So anyway, let us stand and state our great invocation. We are now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. We acknowledge thy presence and thy power, O blessed Spirit. And thy divine wisdom now erase our mortal limitations, and from thy pure substance of love, bring into manifestation our world according to thy perfect law. And so it is, yes. And you know, I was listening to a friend of mine, one of her videos on YouTube, and she's a famous author, and she was saying that where we are going back to, if we haven't been already, is to community. Because it's been proven that people who have community have a more dynamic life, are more young. That'll get you in here every week, right? Or online, more young, more dynamic. And we come together in that tribal energy to create fire so that we can have that science of remembering of who we are. You can tell I'm not doing the talk today, right? Because I am wound up. Okay, here we go. Moving right along. I'm getting the cue. Could you move along? Yes, I could. Okay. So join us on firstunity.org anytime during the week. And anything that's live, it's on our website as well. It takes over the whole banner. You can download our app to know more of our activities on Google Play and Apple Store, etc. And while you're watching live and you're tuning in, don't keep us all to yourself. We like to be shared. We are technically out of the closet, so please share us. And we have our wonderful program, ILLI, and we love the people that are involved with that, and from lifelong learning as well as education. And just so you know, while our doors were closed for a year and 2 weeks, exactly, of course, we were busy working on behind-the-scenes things that would continue to offer people what we believe matters to us. Do you agree? And so where we have a campus inside, here in a building, ILLI is simply our campus outside. Does that make sense? Good. I'm glad. So, okay. So James Redfield, let's give him some love, will be with us later in the service.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Hopper, one of the many Rebeccas we have here at Unity. And I've been singing with the Voices for about 3 years altogether. And this song coming up is called You Gotta Be, made popular by Desiree. And I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Sing along if you know it.
Listen as your day unfolds. Challenge what the future holds. Try and keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, it, don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. But all I know is love will save the day. Hear what your mother said, read the books your father read, try to solve the puzzles in your own sweet time. Some may have more cash than you, and others take a different view. Oh my, yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be strong. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. Time has no questions, it goes on without you, leaving you behind. You can't shake the pace. The world keeps on spinning, can't stop it if you try to. The best part is danger, staring you in the face. Remember, listen as your day unfolds. Challenge what the future holds. Try and keep your head up to the sky. And lovers, they may cause you tears, but go ahead, release your fears. My, oh my, help me out, y'all. Come on. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. But all I know is love will save the day. You got to be bold, you got to be bad, you got to be wise. Don't understand. You got to be hard, but not too hard. All I know is love will save the day. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. Love will save the day. Everybody, love will save the day. One more time, love will save the day. All I know is love will save the day.
Hi, everybody. Oh, it's so wonderful to be here. I feel really grateful. I am a grateful member of First Unity Spiritual Campus, and I'm here to share with you why I continuously come to this campus, why I attend so many classes and just do all that I do. The first day I arrived here. It was Easter Sunday, and it was March 31st, 2012, and it was Jesus Christ Superstar. Shoo! It was awesome. Anyway, I was determined to find me a church. I told my daughter, I need a church. I'm finding a church. And so she said, you know, Mom, there's a church up the street for me, and I hear drumming, and I think that it's going to be a good fit for you. So that's the day I arrived. Jesus Christ Superstar, March 31st. So I want to share with you walking in and what happened to me, because it was such an incredible experience. I walk in and they hand me a calendar, brochure, whatever, but it was a calendar. I take it, And I have my family with me, my daughter, my grandchildren. We sit down, but as I'm walking through into the sanctuary, it's like as I go through that archway, I'm hit with such a frequency, an energy, and a vibration that was so just undescribable. I've tried to think of an incredible word for it, and it hasn't come to me, but I know it will eventually. But anyway, it was so profound that I really felt elevated. So I knew that just at that moment, as I found my pew, it was a pew then, as I sat down, I thought, this is it. This is what I've been searching for. Because I could feel the presence of the divine, that divine energy, just as I was walking through. And I knew as I was sitting in my pew that a healing was occurring. I could feel it through my entire core. And I'll never forget it. Then I leave, and I know that I'm coming back, and I know that I'm supposed to come back, and I continuously came back. So it's been 9 years that I've been attending this church. This church is my family. It's my home. It's where I'm very comfortable. I serve here, I volunteer, I teach here, I do whatever I need to do here and whatever they need for me to do. I find Temple Hayes very inspirational. I love her messages. But I want to tell you that she brings all the people that need to be here. So we're being constantly fed. Her team is phenomenal. And I'm a reverend here, and I'm very grateful to be a reverend here. But I started as a chaplain. And as a chaplain, I remember walking through chapel prayer, and I would go through this tunnel of love, and I connected with a couple of those chaplains, and they had a lot to do with my healing. So I'm here now. I'm not so hard to talk about because my soul opened up here. So I just want to tell you one more thing, and that's enough, because when someone says, so how long have you been here? Why come you keep coming here? I'll tell you why. Healing! I had a healing. And when you start having healings, oh my God, and that connection with Spirit, you're going to keep coming to be fed over and over and over again. So I go home that night, and I open the calendar up. And what do I find there? I find the very first tiny baby step I took. I went to that Wednesday night healing service, meditation and healing service. And that's where my journey started. And then from there, I started taking the classes and learning unity and just everything. Ernest Holmes, Charles Fillmore, I could just go on and on. So I just want to say, keep coming back. Keep coming back because you're worth it. Thank you. Namaste. Happy day. Thank you.
Mickey Sharon's in the house. Mickey, stand. Hey, it takes a lot of courage to say what you want to say in front of a little black box. So let's give her applause, please. In my heart, I've always stored and remembered the story of a woman who is having difficulty with her son's behavior. And so she walks for miles and miles and miles to see Gandhi. And finally she gets in front of Gandhi and he says, what is it that I can help to support you? And she said, well, I'm having difficulty with my young son. He loves sugar. Would you please tell him that sugar isn't good for you? And Gandhi said, I will, but you need to come back in 2 weeks. And so she walks all the way back, and in 2 weeks, they make the trek again, and they walk all the way, and they get in front of Gandhi again. And she said, you told me, that you would tell my son, because he really respects you, and he'll listen to you, and you were going to tell him that sugar is not good for him. And so Gandhi looks at the young boy and says, son, don't eat any more sugar. It's not good for you. Just don't do it. And the young man said, Okay, sir, I won't. And the woman is somewhat perturbed. She said, well, why couldn't you have done that 2 weeks ago? And he said, because I had to get off sugar. So in my own learning of life, I hear often if that self-arrogance is coming through, and I start thinking about how somebody else could be rather than the way that they are, then the pointing of the finger needs to come this way. Do that with me. The pointing of the finger needs to come this way. And then I say, what is it within me that needs to be the change in order for it to be seen? Too much talking, especially to people you love. If that were the answer, well, we would all go get different careers now, wouldn't we? So it's something deeper about modeling, about the power of being. So when you're holding this space for your family, your friends, someone that you love, and you're going, gosh, I would love for them to do this or this or that, come back here and say, what am I being that shows the joy and that occurring? Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Hello, First Unity. My name is Daniel, and I've been singing with the Voices for about a little over a year now, and it's been a wonderful experience. The song I'm going to sing for you is Freedom, made popular by Eddie James. I hope you enjoy it.
All right, y'all. Let's stand to your feet if you can. Come on.
I want to clap a little louder than before. I want to sing a little louder than before. Jump a little higher than before. I want to shout a little louder than before. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Get your freedom, freedom, freedom. Free your mind. I want to clap a little louder than before. I want to sing a little louder than before. I want to spin a little wilder than before. I want to shout a little louder than I did before. I want to lift my hands higher than before. I want to love you more and more and more. I want to worship deeper than before. I want to scream louder than I ever did before. Yeah. Let's talk about freedom. Do you have your freedom? Open up your heart. Freedom. Freedom.
you, but I have to tell you a quick story. I woke up to my freedom. I shared a story earlier when I heard the voice of God say to me, stop asking for something that I've already given you. And that is freedom. We have the freedom to be who God created us to be. Some of that should make some of you happy. At least it makes the singers happy. I am free to run in the journey that God has assigned for me. I am free to walk in the blessings that is bestowed upon me. I encourage you today, listen to that small, still voice of God that's deep in your soul and start running in the freedom. Start walking in the freedom. Stand up right in the freedom. Walk in the freedom that God has given to each and every one of you. Start today. Stop apologizing for walking in the freedom. Your family might not be able to walk in the freedom, but you walk in it because you may have to walk in it for them. Woo! I don't know. But I think we should sing some more about the freedom. And if you're watching this at home, just put your hands up and say, and if you're in the house, say, God, I claim my freedom.
So how many of you, whether you're online or in person, can say that your life is different because of James Redfield? Yeah. I mean, really, that's what it's all about, right? And that's what we have been striving to do for the last 18 years since I have been here, is to thank you for appreciating all of us as leaders, but also to have the foresight and the intuitive faculty playing full out so that we know when it's time to bring someone else in for a moment, for a class, for a course. Because as much as you value, and I value, listening to the same person over and over and over and over again, as much as we do a takeaway, we become comfortable together. We become like, oh, hallelujah, oh, well, that was nice. I enjoyed that. Did you enjoy? Yeah, that was nice. And we do this intentionally. This is not so we can be off. Hello, we're here. It's so that we are guided by Spirit. You understand? We're guided by Spirit, and we feel a certain person coming into our awareness that says, and now it's time for their blessing. James Redfield's first book was The Celestine Prophecy. He has been keenly interested in human spirituality all his life. With a master's degree in counseling, he spent more than 15 years as a therapist working with abused adolescents. During this time, he was drawn into the human potential movement and turned to it for theories that would help his troubled clients. In 2000, he was honored by the International New Thought Alliance with another Humanitarian of the Year award. James Redfield's first book was titled The Celestine Prophecy. It was then turned into a Celestine series of 4 books, the last one being named The 12th Insight, The Hour of Decision. James lives with his wife, Sally, and dog, Toby, in Florida and Alabama. We're grateful, very grateful.
All right. I know y'all know this one.
Listen, family, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
If you need me, call me. No matter where you are, no matter how far.
Don't worry, darling, just call my name. I'll be there in a hurry.
You don't have to worry, 'cause family, there ain't no
Mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, yeah. Remember the day I set you free? I told you you could always count on me, darling. From that day on, I made a vow I'll be there when you want me, some way, somehow.
family, there
Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, yeah. Oh no, darling.
no wind, no rain, oh, winter's cold. Can't stop me, yeah.
Oh, darling.
You are mine.
Whenever you're in trouble, I'll be there on the double. Just send for me, oh baby.
My love is alive, way down in my heart, although we are miles apart.
If you ever need a helping hand, I'll be there on the double as fast as I can.
Know that there
Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, yeah.
you know that there
Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no mountain high enough, yeah.
valley low enough,
Ain't no valley low enough, yeah.
river wide enough.
Hey, to keep me from getting to you, yeah.
All right,
All right.
that was a fun one.
It was fun. You excited?
Yes.
I'm excited. He's already been introduced. Y'all are in for a wonderful treat. Introducing James Redfield.
Take it away, James.
Take it away.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm a great fan of Reverend Hayes. I love Unity churches. I grew up in a Methodist church, but it was almost as lively as the one that we're experiencing now. So it's that kind of energy that I've aspired to all my life. It was a pleasure to have written the Celestine Prophecies series of books. That was an experience that I talk about a lot, just getting that message into words. One of the key understandings that came through me to be communicated was that we're all here for a purpose. We have to be a kind of detective into our own life journey. So we're going to talk about all of that here. I just want to say thank you again to Reverend Hayes for the invitation. Thank all of you for your attention. My message will revolve around the question, what time in the world is it? Obviously, we have experienced some challenges out there over the last couple of years. Some of those challenges have hit us in our level of inspiration. But as we discuss this, we'll talk about this awakening consciousness that is happening and how it's happening, why it's happening. We'll describe that consciousness because when we move into this consciousness and understand how it feels, we can stay there longer we can remind ourselves and come back to it when we lose this connection. But we'll also really talk about sustaining this connection, this inspired place in our lives, so that we can make the contribution that we came here to make. So what I'd like to do is invite you to help set a prayer intention around this talk. It's not long, but we wanted to touch people. We want to be shared. Just help me affirm then that everything will emerge from me. Everything will be reverberated by you. And then we'll bounce around the world and maybe move people into this energy that is so exemplified in this church, in the group that is here. So thank you very much for that. That intention is set in gratitude. So let's get with it. And again, I want to reflect the energy of this. Nothing can be more exciting than moving into consciousness and understanding it and embracing it as something that's really happening, really expanding out there in the world. So let's just talk about it in terms of what's occurring. Why is it occurring? We have 3 generations in play, in my view. They're baby boomers, they're millennials, and they're the children of millennials. They call themselves Z's. I think there's another name coming, but there's 3 generations, huge generations out there in the world. And what we know is that I believe we improved ourselves and see readily that they are asking higher questions all at the same time. Baby boomers, growing older, asking, what's my legacy? What am I still here to say and do to help raise the consciousness of the world? And then we have their children, millennials, all, by the way, moving through 38, a huge astrological time, if you believe in that. But it is the question, what do I really want to do? Maybe I've had a family, maybe I've had relationships, maybe I've gotten my children up where they're in school most of the time. What's left for me to do? There's more to life than just that. There's something left for me to do, a higher question. And then you have the Z's finishing high school, en masse, approaching college or their first career step and asking, how do you do this thing called life? Why does it seem so much harder to get started than other generations have experienced? These higher questions are what spurs consciousness, because as we know, if you ask the right questions, if you ask higher questions, you get the answers. Every scripture from every religious tradition has pronounced this: ask and you shall find. So it's very exciting for me to see, I believe, what is occurring, this raising consciousness, because those answers, people are finding these answers. And it's important, I think, to make sure in our enthusiasm for life and where we are, that we understand what we're awakening from. And remember, consciousness, in my view, is spiritual consciousness. There's ego and there's spiritual connection. And that's the messages I hear being said today. And I think those are the ones that we have to ask now. What are we awakening from? We're awakening from fear. We're awakening from detachment. We're awakening from the ego in the sense of needing control. In fact, we have many people out there warning that there are more forces wanting to control humanity than ever before. And rather than go into some kind of hate or fear about that, I think what we're doing in this consciousness is realizing that it's not some kind of war that humanity is in to be able to have the freedom to find their spiritual connection. This is not a war. This is a replacement. There's a world in fear. Many, sometimes it's huge economic forces that feel like they need to control to save the world or whatever they may think, and to reduce other people's freedom. But what we have to in my view, to really live is to move into connection. And connection does not go to war. Connection offers an alternative. So the level of energy that I saw in this church today is the connected, is the demonstration of moving into spirit and all that comes with that. So let's just talk a little bit precisely about what does this consciousness feel like. We want to be able to sustain it. We have to live in the world between Sunday events, and that is a personal thing that we have to get up in the morning and connect with. I just want to say that beyond anything, in my view, is recovering our emotional stability. And we can go into a big group and we can find it, but what about when we're alone, waking up in the morning, facing challenges like we all do, and where do we go? In my view, that what we are rediscovering is really love. Love as an emotional state is called agape love. And it's amazing how many times I have to defend this emotion, this connected emotion of love to people. Even spiritual oriented people who want change for the world. But there's something that has been lost because, in my view, love has become a word that, it sounds too mushy. Love is something that sounds weak, where today's challenges, we have to be brave and bold and conquering even is the feeling. And love is too soft for that. But I believe that what we're discovering is that love is our primary emotion, the one that we should come back to, always come back to. And we will do a little meditation at the end of this, and it'll be very short. But I believe it's the meditation that we're learning to do, right? That we really want to, that makes us feel connected in this consciousness. And so we're awakening from fear and the love that's absent. And we're moving into not a shaming that we do to others, nothing like that from the ego. We're just displaying consciousness and conscious connection. And that's what this experience is really about. Also, besides love as a connected experience in this consciousness, we have what I like to call inspiration energy. Now, inspiration energy is the inspiration to do something. to help someone, to move into a greater knowledge about ourselves and what we want to do, but it's always a call to action. Now that's an energy that, as we'll see later, that we can use to help other people. It's a contagious energy, and what comes in the consciousness we're describing, beyond love, beyond the inspiration energy to do and help and have a mission in life, we get an opening of our intuitive intelligence. Now, everybody talks about that, intuition, the thought to do something to help another person that seems quite miraculous in the end because it comes to us to do. It's why we have this flow of synchronicity in our lives. If we have a goal, a mission, something we want to get done, even in a challenged world like this, we can rely on this intuitive intelligence to move us forward. So I want to move quickly, though, into the sustaining. Sorry, I've got a voice that has been too active. Really, I'm trying to get this message out, so sorry about the scratchy throat. We want to sustain this personally. So I want to just stop here and do a little meditation that I think that is growing in popularity all over the world. It wasn't invented by anyone, but it has the components of this consciousness we want to sustain, this consciousness that we want to reach, even when we're alone and challenges facing us, that it is how we can find a peace that surpasses all understanding. And think about meditation. That's what, in its highest point, in its highest connectability, that's what we find. We find a kind of peace that brings clarity. But what I would like to do is just in a short way, let's just move into a meditation. It'll be short. Don't close your eyes. If you're driving a vehicle, when you hear this, pull over to the side. You need to have your full attention on something. Listen to this later. But to me, it's the most comprehensive and maybe most effective meditation that I've seen. And I just want to communicate that to you. Let's just describe it first. In this meditation, we'll do what we always do in every meditation, every mindfulness type meditation. We will try to and initiate moving into this state where we can where we're seeking a quiet mind, but we want to add one other thing to that. We also want to seek to acquire our quiet emotional state. And I believe that this is where we find the most effective way is to concentrate on agape love. Now, agape love is the feeling of love as an emotion, but with no object in mind. We've all loved before. We've loved our parents, our our first pet. We've loved our, first sweetheart. We've loved our the friends that have made so much of a difference to us in our world. We've loved a kind of world that we build for ourselves. But we also can love in another way. This agape love is love without an object. So think about that. A love with nothing to love. It's a state of love. Okay? It's a background reflection of our connection with the divine. It's what that connection feels like. So whenever we're coming back to the consciousness that we see emerging, we can use as the mantra in this meditation, which is something you concentrate on so you can quiet your mind. Anytime ideas come or worries come, just let those go. Just for the 2 minutes that we're going to be doing this, because that letting go is the process. Because once you let go of the chatter in your minds and the chatter in our hearts, these problem emotions, there are three that get in the way for everyone. One is anger, one is fear, and the other is the hurts that we can't get over that we think other people have done to us. Those pop up. But when they pop up, we'll just let them go, and we'll return to this love connection, this feeling of love that we've all had, but as a state, just be in this love. So just follow me into this meditation. We'll just do about 3 minutes, but it's one that I think stands for the connection as we remember love and the power of love out there, and a power within us to love. This is something that works. So let's just close your eyes wherever you are. Remember, if you need to have your attention on something, do this some other time later. But just let yourself go into meditation. You can do this walking, but be attentive. But let's just go into this intention to move into agape love as our center, and this is what we'll always come back to. It's agape connection. That's the road into connection. That's the reflection of connection. So we come back to this feeling of love, conjured up. You can remember. Try to feel that love right now. And then as we go, come back to it. Anything pops up, hurts, anger, anxiety, just let it go. This is 3 minutes. Just let it go. Let's just feel ourselves in that meditative state. Take a few breaths. Feel that love as your primary, most powerful emotion, most stable emotion. All the other lower emotions bounce off. If you feel anything like that, just come back to agape love, a state of love that you can keep. Let's just really embrace this. Feel it with your whole body. It's a state of love, a connection with the divine. It's just every thought that's a chatter thought. Let's let that chatter go. Come back to a quiet mind with this agape love center, your powerful stability. Now just see that you have a clear mind, a quiet mind. The more you do this, the more this will happen. Find that quiet mind. And when this quietness occurs, move into a kind of listening mode. Because what opens up in the quietness is your intuitive intelligence. And with intuitive intelligence comes your inspiration energy. Something you want to do to help an individual, to help a cause. It's a mission. But this intelligence will yield ongoing help. So just listen for what you're being asked to do. You're being inspired to do. It's always going to be a helping effort. But this is the practice. The quieter your mind, the more love, connection you feel, the more you center into your spiritual journey in this world. So just listen for that intuitive guidance. Just hold that center of agape love just 1 minute or so more. Feel it. One more moment. And just come back now. Take another deep breath and open your eyes. So, I believe that this is the meditation because it's so casual. It's something you can do walking. Because essentially you're trying to feel agape love and the stability of that. And you're opening up to your intuitive guidance just by keeping a quiet mind. And over time, with this meditation, what happens is that you get more and more intuitive guidance. Now remember, this is the consciousness. It's not just good feelings with people all around you, although that's so important. It's about your journey as a helper in this world. Now, I want to mention one other thing that's involved in this awakening, this emerging consciousness. I believe it's an understanding of karmic design. Now, this is, of all the things, synchronicity, humans have experienced synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that bring us opportunities. We experience, humanity has always experienced those and have followed them some of the time. But moving into alignment with karmic design is something that the human race has not done because it's for our time, I believe. It's for this consciousness because we're open not to just being individual egos trying to make a living, but as we're on a spiritual consciousness moving through life with a mission to help. Now, what is the karmic design? How do you become luckier? And I challenge you to prove this to yourself. You give money, if that's called on. Have a 10% or whatever you find you can do that you give away to people that cross your paths in need, or to a church organization, or some other organization that is echoing your mission in life. I believe that the karmic design that the human race is only now realizing revolves around giving itself. And it works this way. If you're a giver, now that means in every conversation, wondering how you can give something, give a message to another person, that's part of this. You can give money. You can give basic help and aid of any kind to another person. But until we are giving away, giving to others as much as we want are looking for them to help us, we can't move into the true, provable protection that we have in life. And that means premonitions, how to do something differently to avoid problems, how to move into, slowly into your tactfully into your mission, your journey to help. It's protection. It's for help in general for your life problems. If you become a giver, you draw more givers into your life. That's how it works. You want more synchronicity, you want more meaningful coincidences that happen in your life, then I believe that you can prove to yourself that you become a giver first and you draw more givers into your life, giving you synchronicities on time. Now, I want you to just imagine how the world could be if once the human race moves into giving as much as wanting to get. Because at the synchronicity level, think about that. If you are giving, if you meet somebody, and it may be an old friend, it may be anybody, but if you move into a conversation because someone has crossed your path, if you seek out of your intuitive intelligence to provide a synchronicity to them, if you seek of that first, all the while looking for the synchronicity they may just have for you, think about how the world would change if everyone was doing this. The world would change dramatically. In fact, I argue that what's happened is, what we're discovering is in this karmic design is that this is the way the world was designed to work, where everybody tries to out-help intuitively other people's help. So we're all understanding the benefits, and it's okay to think about the benefits when you're helping. because that's that way you're looking for the evidence that help is coming back to you, and you pursue it. But think about the world where everybody is trying to give synchronicities as much as they get a synchronicity. It's the way the design is. Because remember the experience of that. You've all experienced it. And that is someone, I mean, you have a synchronicity with, or just a connection, is meaningful with another person, sometimes a complete stranger. And the design is to give synchronicities, but also receive synchronicities. Now, this is not something that's impossible for the world to adapt to. I mean, once we discover the power of giving, that movement happens automatically. More and more of us come into the design of the world, of the karmic design, the way it's supposed to be. Now, again, remember what we're talking about here. We're talking about an emerging consciousness where, because of consciousness is moving up, we're asking the right questions. We're asking for help. We're expecting help. And now we're learning to give help. And that becomes a hothouse effect all across the world. I believe that that's, of course, the what we can aspire to as we prove to ourselves that this rise in consciousness is happening. Get into synchronicity, give away, and watch what happens, is my message. Now, how else do we sustain this energy, this connection, this intuitive intelligence that's coming out that guides us in life? We have little images of what to do, what's coming up even. Okay, that's the opening. But there is a short of meditation, in everyday life, there's something that in the Celestine Prophecy I call the interpersonal ethic. And I want to just describe that in this context. The interpersonal ethic happens when we give energy, basic energy, to others all the time. Now think about our connection. This interpersonal ethic of giving energy, and all of the, everything comes with that, of course, the synchronicities you provide and everything. But if we do a basic intention to give this inspiring energy that we feel to others, then something happens. We can't meditate all the time, but if we visualize that, before we go to give a talk, or before we have an important conversation with someone, or just in everyday life, walking down the street, if we visualize that the connected energy we feel in meditation is happening right then. But all we have to do then is visualize us filling up with that connection and the love, its inspiration, energy, all the rest. And if we imagine that overflowing out of us into the world like a big energy field that touches people without us saying a word, what happens is the act of giving it away, and with the intent of inspiring other people into their own spiritual connection, we fill up first as it overflows. So the interpersonal ethic gives, but also receives, because we keep high with that same energy that overflows into everyone else. So again, these are kind of discoveries as we prove to ourselves we live in a spiritual world, and that we can help sustain ourselves when we're alone on our journey, and at the same time uplift other people until it's a huge connected mass of humanity on the planet, which will take care of everything. Now, again, it's okay to think about, and maybe we should think about the forces that are about control and about denying liberties to be spiritual or liberties to speak freely. We have to sort of imagine all that happening for it to happen. And the last thing I want to really talk about is the act of implementing this. Just to remember what we talked about. There's a political divide and people controlling. It's never happened before in history, but yet it's happening now. That puts people into fear. But the antidote is what we just talked about: maintaining spiritual consciousness. Because in the end, we're just one mind. We're one soul. We're all connected. So if we're modeling this connection with spirit all the time, what happens is that people who are stuck in controlling only feel secure if they're controlling other people. All the negative side to the control dramas that I talked about in the Celestine Prophecy and the other books, those are not to be warned against. Because if you war against people, what happens is that you actually move into a not love, but a hating or fearing. What happens is that side of life gets larger. And so the last thing I really want to talk about is that we're living in dueling timelines. There are people who really think organizing this kind of grid, I would call it, of control, it's the best way to save the world. But what happens is that it's fear-based. We can see it plainly. If we hate, that gets larger. We just join that side. So to stay in the timeline of human progress into a love-based spiritual connection and all that comes with that is where to stay. Come back to that. Come back to love. Hold that as the vision that you carry around for the progress of humanity. That spiritual connection that can move all around the planet and turn the human world on this planet fully spiritual, as is our what we're wired for. That's the vision, I think, that we all have within us. So stay strong, stay connected, listen to your intuitive guidance. It'll show you your path to do the most good in the world, to help the most people. And that's the great life. That's the life we were designed to live on this planet. And we're at a junction point. My last book was about the hour of decision. That's the understanding of that. I have a new book coming out in November, hopefully, that will extend this a little more. But I believe we are rising to hold this vision, this timeline, at this moment in history, because it's again, they're two dueling timelines, and we want to be on the side of love, spiritual progress on the planet. Thank you very much. It's lovely to talk to you. I feel your energy out there. I'm a great fan of unity. And I just ask you to take this message and, as you understand it, and circulate it a little bit out there in the world, because I think that we can prove it to ourselves that this is the reality that's happening. This is how sustained we can be by tuning in. So again, thank you very much. Really appreciate your attention, and blessings to all.
Thank you very much, James Redfield. Weren't you blessed today? Ushers, if you'll come forward. Yes, you can do that. We're at Clapping Church. As our ushers pass you, feel bless the plate. But let's also to do something today. He was having trouble with his throat. And we're very much, we kind of practice what Jesus did. We put hands on. So if you'll just symbolically put your hand on your throat chakra, and we'll put forth the energy to James from us and from the universe to whatever is bothering or touching his throat, that it will come to pass. And if you've not taken the time to activate your giving, today is the day. If the plate passes you and you feel so led, please put something in the plate. I said, a pastor friend of mine used to say, I don't want to hear change hitting the plate, because if you put change in the plate, you get change in your life. And we're not talking about a revolutionary change, but we're talking about rattling coins. But also too, if you're at home and we've been your spiritual community for the last year, we ask you to please bless yourself and bless this community with giving online. You can give a text to give, and you also can give on that little yellow heart on the app online. Know that you're planting good seed in fertile soil, and so it is.
When 10,000 arrows take flight, remind me that you are my umbrella. There's always a place I can hide when I am desperate for shelter. You're my covering. I'm safe. I'm safe. Whatever comes in me, I'm safe. I'm safe. 'Cause you got me.
like we've always said here at First Unity, you never know exactly what you're going to get. Yes? Absolutely. Well, we are so blessed. And, you know, coming up on, let's honor our band for a minute, okay? They're just amazing. Our wonderful voices, our spiritual leadership team, and Reverend Richard and our media team, and all of you. We really, really, really appreciate you. June, as you know, is Pride Month, and the last Sunday, we will be having Mark Anthony Lord. While at the same time during the month of June, we have Unity Worldwide Headquarters that is strongly promoting a universal movement about the importance of being who you are. So it's going to be wonderful, and Mark is a good friend of ours, so we look forward to having him with us. Wednesday noon meditation is now in person, so you can come in person and on live stream. And Wednesday healing meditation, which Reverend Mickey alluded to, is now in person and live stream. The only difference is it's at 7 p.m. And so make note of that. We have a ILI webinar this coming Tuesday evening with Dr. Aileen, Reverend Christy, and myself. We're going to talk about following your soul's mission. So come and join us. We also will be having on May 19th oneness, and that's where our spiritual leaders and ministers allow them. I love how you did that. You know. Okay, all together. That's right, where we raise the bar. So there you go. Speaking of oneness.
Speaking of oneness, here I am. Well, you know, Reverend Temple has something, a landmark, checkmark life thing coming up. We are going to be celebrating.
I think
she's not expecting, but she is expecting you to show up and show out because we have her 30th year anniversary coming up. 30 years in ministry, and I'm going to tell you, sister, I'm right on your tail with that. About 25 years, that takes a calling on someone's life to dedicate 30 years to ministry. And how can you be involved? We have a 3K, I was supposed to say a 30K, a 3K virtual run, and there will be a bag and a t-shirt with that registration. And then join us on July the 11th for the celebration for Reverend Temple's 30th anniversary.
Okay, so let me just say, just to be clear, that the only reason I agreed to this, because I get really shy when a lot of attention is drawn to me, truly, whether you knew that or not, it's real. Anyway, I did this and wanted to honor this for a fundraiser for our community. So that's what it's all about,
right.
Okay? Is our community. Okay.
So with that being
Here we
said,
go.
let's go to the Unity song.
We're in the karmic cleansing.
Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, more peace than was
hug yourself right now. Let us affirm together our unity prayer. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. For God is amazing. All the time. God is amazing. Thank you, everyone, and remember the cafe is open.
This is my hand, take it